you know the main ingredient to A1 sauce is tomato puree?
Dude, it's on this tape.
Dude, we can't watch that tape.
Why not?
If you watch that tape, 7 days later, a girl comes out of a TV and you die.
But it's a movie. Let's watch it.
Did you not hear what I just said? A girl comes out of the TV and kills you.
Movie.
That's a good point.
Wait, do you even have a VCR?
Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone, Cinema Buffs here, bringing you our review of the new horror movie Rings. Now, Rings is the third movie in the Ring franchise. I think Nate and I can agree that the first movie was great. Gore Verbinski directed it.
So good.
And beautifully rich, really creepy movie, and I think one of the better PG-13 horror movies of all time.
Definitely.
And the second one, we weren't impressed by it, and now over a decade later, we're getting this new one now. Nate, what'd you just think of this movie, this new interpretation with the new director?
Well, this movie, like you said, the first one, great. Second one, not so good. This one, not good. This is a pretty bad movie, very disjointed. I think it was really trying to follow in line of the plot of the first one. You know, you have a female lead that's trying to unravel new mysteries about the ring and the videotape and people watching it. But you get to this opening scene and you can tell right off the bat, this is going to be like exposition shoved in your face. Everyone knows the story of the ring, but instead they have to recap the rules of it at least 3 or 4 times in this movie.
Yeah.
Over and over, including the very first scene.
Yes, the dialogue is pretty bad. Just like
atrocious.
It's like one of those things like at one point they're walking out of the house and the boyfriend says to the character, like, what do we have to do now? Now we have to do this. Like, it's one of those just, hey, this is what's going to happen next moments. And yes, I will say that the scares, it is trying to be the first movie. They're trying to show more and more why the villain is, why the villain's created, how the villain's created, and all this. And it's just, no, leave some mystery to it.
Totally.
You got this cool kind of concept, and just with the direction style, I feel like there's so many wasted opportunities. Like at the end, there's this part where she's in this darkened, abandoned church, and there's an opportunity for some real good scares.
Yeah.
But no, just as soon as you start to get a good scare, it's like all the lights come up because it's this flashback scene. Everything becomes brighter and it just takes you out of the moment.
Which goes into the flashback scenes, the flashes. As if we can't connect the pieces ourselves. They have to flash things that she saw in the video. Like, I liked in the first one that she saw things in the video, and the audience got to connect the pieces of how they came together along her travels and along her, unraveling of the mystery. But in this, it's just shoved in your face. And why does this character talk to herself so much? No one does that. You were here a long time. Why? Like the first one, she watches the video, and there's mysteries inside of it that she needs to unravel. But in this one, there's a video in the video with more mysteries to unravel. So.
But only she can see it.
Right.
So it's specific to her, and she thinks it's one thing, but then twist at the end.
Yeah.
It's another thing.
It's another thing. But after she sees the video inside the video, there aren't any new rules, and she never gets a phone call or anything.
No.
It's like, so does she die after 7 days? I don't know. Who really gives a shit? One thing that is the redeeming factor is this is competently made. It visually looks good, and it sounds good. The lighting's good. The set design's okay. The sound design was alright as well. So they had technicalities on their side. It just, the story fell 100% flat.
Chime in on the acting again. Just completely wooden. Like, this lead actress, I don't know her name. She got plucked out of a pile of headshots, I'm sure.
Yeah, bad choice.
Yeah. She, in the beginning, she showed like she might have some personality. This might be a character that you can, sympathize with and go on this journey. But once the story gets into motion, just wooden. Just every line delivered exactly the same.
Yeah.
And the boyfriend, the douchey boyfriend, he's the douchey boyfriend.
Totally.
And
also an idiot. These characters are stupid.
Yeah.
They're just stupid people, and you learn nothing about this girl. Naomi Watts' character in the first one, I sympathize with her. She was struggling through divorce. She's a single mother. Things aren't going her way.
They made a character you could care about.
Exactly. You want to see her succeed. And in this, I knew nothing about this girl.
With all this hammy acting, you think that at the end it might be saved by Vincent D'Onofrio, because he's a pretty competent actor. He's had some great performances before.
Totally.
But even then, you could tell he was there for a day of shooting. Probably got $500,000 and bounced.
Yeah.
And his character was that character like you saw coming a mile away, where there's this sinister mastermind behind it all, and oh my God, it's him.
Vincent D'Onofrio's actually reading the script and agreeing to saying these lines, where I'm like, these don't flow at all. They try to have these meaningful lines, like he is. There's one point where he says, "Just because you have visions doesn't mean you know the meaning of visions." I'm like, that's a horrible line. Doesn't mean you know the meaning of the visions.
Yeah,
like,
visions mean like
meaning of the
repeated.
vision. Just I was like, how is he saying this as if we're supposed to like believe this or think that it's dire at the time?
I don't know the character's name, but it was played by Johnny Galecki, and he being in this movie is just weird because you know he makes so much money off Big Bang Theory. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like he's stretching his acting wings. Like maybe he was a fan of the franchise and
Maybe,
all right, you're making another one. I can't stop it. Might as well be a
yeah,
part of it.
Maybe he knew one of the writers, or he was just doing a favor or something
Who
like
knows?
that. But they didn't really give him much to work with either. If there was any character that was fairly entertaining, it was him.
Yeah,
Like,
and I thought that was like, if anything, the one kind of interesting thing about this movie. How like there was this cult following around this tape and this video, and like how to pass it on, and like to go through this experience of like, you know, feeling the effects of paranormal events.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So like I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe they're gonna go further with that. Then they just went straight to by the numbers, horror movies, just cliche ridden.
All right, so obviously we agree that this franchise needs to die here. Just let it lay. Stop beating this horse. Put a score to it. What do you think about Rings?
I think like our guest reviewer Aaron, thanks again for subbing in last week, Aaron. He said last week about Resident Evil that you need these kind of movies to see what bad filmmaking's like, a what not to do kind of lesson.
Yeah.
And I think along with that, I think we need these bad movies so we can appreciate the good ones. Like after we got out of the theater, we were just like, oh, John Wick 2 is next week though, so hopefully we get some redemption next week. But Nate made some good points about, you know, it looked good, it sounded well, so I'm going to give The Crew a little point bump on there, and I'm going to go 2.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It was a 1.5, but there was some technically sound things, so I'll give The Crew a little kudos and go to 2.5.
Yeah. That's, you know, pretty low, actually. I thought you'd go a little bit higher than that. You know,
Not
Resident
anything.
Evil, I gave Resident Evil a 2 last week, and that was the worst score I've ever given. And I think that Rings was a little bit more competently made than Resident Evil, and I actually think that the director cared a little bit. I think that it wasn't written by him, but you can tell that like he's pretty skilled, like you said, technical aspects, things like that. So I'm not going to go as low as Resident Evil. I'm just going a little bit higher than yours in a 3. But still, like,
Don't bother.
Don't even bother.
Not when it comes out on rental or if it's on VOD or anything like that. Just don't bother. All right, so that's it for our review of Rings. You guys heard what we thought, but what did you think? Go ahead and leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate all the support.
That's right. And next week we're going to be bringing you John Wick Chapter 2, which I have been anticipating this movie so much. I'm so excited to see Keanu Reeves kick some ass again, and I just want to be a little refreshed after the past couple weeks. So hopefully that'll be good. But don't forget,
there's no place like the theater. I came here to do 2 things: review movies and chew bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum. So click the logo right here and become a subscriber, and you'll never miss an episode.